Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about some knives that we're planning on doing some real world torture testing and hard use case testing on. And we're going to be doing this by actually taking these knives out into a field environment and just putting them through their paces constantly. Um, Previously, some of the knives that I've carried out into the field include this Hinderer design. This is a zero tolerance Hinderer design in LMAX. Um, LMAX steel is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it will get the job done. This knife has been through some hard use and actually had the tip chipped off and blunted and had to be reprofiled down to get it back into a nice working order. Carried this thing in a desert environment, and it definitely had a lot of sand in it once upon a time. Took over a year to get all the sand out of it. So, believe it or not, that desert environment was inside the continental United States. Um, Anything with ball bearings and lubrication is just going to attract sand like crazy. So, had to replace the ball bearings in this guy on more than one occasion, and it took roughly a year and a half to 2 years to get all the sand out of the stinking thing. Um, Not fun. So, zero tolerance Hinderer design. And this guy right here, this is a custom Griptilian back when they were still using the fiberglass reinforced scales that everybody on the forums used to complain about. This one is an S30V partially serrated. And let's see if we can get that to focus. There we go. So S30V steel, kind of a bugger to sharpen, right? But once you do get an edge on there, it holds it fairly well. And carried this sucker for a few years as well. It's just thick. It's lightweight, but it is thick. It's not the most comfortable or ergonomic option. So this has definitely been a knife that has seen some hard use and abuse, and doesn't look absolutely horrible for it either. That black finish on here actually held up fairly well, despite some of the crap that or I put this sucker through. So these two are previous hard use knives. Some knives that we're looking at taking out in the field this year to do some testing with includes the Benchmade Mini Adamas and CPM Crewwear. Not gonna lie, I have really high hopes for this guy. We have, I believe this is a TR3 off the top of my head with the fish scale pattern, ProTech, and CPM Magna Cut. So this was one of the first knives that was commercially available, right? In CPM Magna Cut that I was at least able to get my hands on. I do know there were some Spyderco knives at the time, but this was one of the first ones that I was able to get my hands on. I've had this sucker now for about 2 years, and I think the news worn off enough that we're ready to put this sucker through the paces and see if Magna Cut can live up to all of its promises. We also have one of our favorite budget knives. I've done a video on this one and unboxing before. This is the Petrified Fish 818 and D2 steel. This sucker comes in, I believe you can pick this up for right at 30 bucks. So super cheap liner lock knife, blue. It's blue to me, but they call this a gray G10. To me, this looks more like a blue denim, or a faded blue denim. For 30 bucks, I don't think you can really go wrong with this knife, right? It's cheap. We're going to see how durable it is, and that D2 steel does take a pretty nice edge onto it. However, it's D2 tool steel. It will rust. It will get corroded. You will have to oil this thing and keep it lubricated. Even getting finger oil right there on it, right? The moisture from your fingers on the blade, that can be enough to start causing it to patina. But for $30, right, this is probably, we're hoping, or I'm hoping, this will be the king of our budget series knives. For 30 bucks, it doesn't look horrible. It's got a good flipper action. The knife is pretty well centered, right from the factory. For $30, you can't ask for too much more. And not an over gaudy or over tactical, right? A very minimalistic, clean design for 30 bucks, unlike some of the other knives that you're seeing come out from some of the more wannabe tactical companies that are definitely in the same price range and cheaper, but in my opinion are just pumping out cheap junk. So high hopes for this one. We're going to see if this sucker is one with a decent sharpening solution out in the field and some kind of oil or CLP, if a $30 knife would be more than adequate, right? So we're going to be taking that sucker out there with us. We're going to be taking some more higher end knives. So this one has previously gone out with me. This is a Combat Troodon from Microtech and M390. So I've carried this one out there before. It's definitely an attention grabber, right? The pocket sword, as it's been dubbed before by others. This thing is just massive, and having that double action, firing, right? So not only the firing but the retraction. Everybody just loves to kind of fidget with this thing. It is big. It's got that glass breaker on it. Just a fun overall awesome knife, and it's kind of intimidating for some people. So we'll be probably taking this sucker back out there with us. Not for sure on that yet, though. As well as possibly taking out either the original Benchmade Griptilian or the Zero Tolerance. A new addition that came in earlier this week, right, is this Benchmade Full Immunity in CPM M4. Little tiny guy. Might take this as a little backup knife and just see what it's capable of doing. And for a size comparison on that, because we weren't able to find it in the original video, this is a Vox knife Suru, and this is one of the special editions in carbon fiber. So size comparison on that, you can see that they are right about the same size. They are just absolutely tiny little knives, right? And tiny little knives do have a nice place in the pocket. If you're going out and about and you're wearing shorts, you're wearing something that you don't want to have a big 9+ inch knife when fully deployed hanging out. You don't want to draw that much attention. Something like this is great, more than adequate. Is it better than an option like one of these pocket utility knives? Maybe, maybe not. Just depends on you, right, and your style. I find that this sucker right here, the Exceeds Design Tyrant, is more than adequate for 55% of my or more of my everyday carry needs, right? So if you're just doing unboxings, you're opening up your Prime packages, you're opening up the mail, you're just cutting small light duty stuff, this thing's fine. It's great. Would I use this to whittle down and make makeshift tarp stakes or tent stakes, right, or poles? Probably not. I'd probably go for something a little bit more beefier than this, depending on how many of these razor blades, right, I had sitting back in reserve. If it was my only option, I'm sure it could do it. However, there's probably more efficient things. And speaking of more efficient things, we'll get into some of the fixed carry options, right, or fixed blades. This is a Ronnie Shinto that I've carried out into the field before by Spartan Blades. So this sucker's probably going to go back out with us, and you can see there is a little bit of wear around some of the corners on it. Nothing too bad. It's got a little bit of wear right there from use. So we'll probably take this guy out with us with its unique blade profile and design, and put that for some hard use and abuse as well. This is going to be the season of hard use and abuse. So this will be probably our main fixed blade for doing a variety of different things. And by variety of different things, let's be realistic. It's not going to be used as Rambo. It's more than likely going to be used for degrubbing my sleeping area or meal prep area. So we also have the option to take out some fixed blade Microtechs, like this LUDT automatic or the SOCOM Elite. Both are in M390 steel. So I don't know. Why don't you guys tell me in the comment section what knives that we have here on the table you'd like to see get hard used and abused. We can even probably take out this UTX 85%, also an M390, and put this thing through its paces too and just see how tough this is. We have a couple of different options. So I'm curious to see which ones you guys would like to see go out and put through some hard use and abuse. We also have a couple of different original Benchmades, right, like the Griptilian, or the Hinderer Slicer Zero Tolerance that could go back out, or even this mini Griptilian that we have here with, I believe this is when they first started offering the G10 scales, and it just mimics the old style. We did put a blue titanium clip on this, and I believe this little sucker, and I have to be careful, this one is super sharp and it will bite you. This is in CPM 20CV, right, which essentially is very close to M390 steel. Almost the same composition as what I've been told by some metallurgists. And let's get a size comparison, these two right here. So you can see the full immunity is a little bit smaller. The aluminum handles does feel much more premium. That Cerakote on there being kind of a rough texture, it just feels much more premium than the mini Griptilian. truly does. So I'm curious, guys, let me know what knives you'd like to see go out into a field environment, get hard use, the ones that are on the table. The ones for sure that at this time that'll be going out of the pocket folders is our Exceed Designs Tyrant. So this sucker's going out. It'll probably be used to open up meal packs, to be honest. We have the Benchmade here, Mini Adamas, and the CPM Crewwear. Definitely excited to see what CPM Crewwear is all about and if it lives up to the hype. So we'll definitely be taking that one out. And then we have our Petrified Fish 818, our Budget King, as we are hoping for, in D2 steel. Probably going to take that sucker out and see what it can do and what it looks like after a few weeks being out in a open, humid environment. And then we have our ProTech and CPM MagnaCut, and we're going to see if MagnaCut lives up to the claim. These are kind of the ones that we have tentatively slated right now to go out. And on the Microtech side, we might actually take out the Combat Troodon or the LUDT or the SOCOM Elite. Depends on what you guys want to see. So definitely let me know which one of these for you like to go out, as well as any of the other knives that were featured on the table. Probably the only one that I would not take out would be this Vox Knives Suru in the burnt bronze with the M390 blade steel on it and carbon fiber frame. This thing is just not designed for a hard use. The carbon fiber on it's ultra lightweight, pretty cool. Not a hard use knife, more of a cool little knife to carry around. Clean up the carbon fiber and it actually looks great. This one's definitely got some pocket dust all over it and kind of embedded into it. But quick clean down with a toothbrush and looks great. So probably won't take that one out. Probably will not take out any of the Ultratechs, except for the UTX 85. The shiny's awfully definitely worn off on that. It's also been my experience, right? These Microtech UTX, or not UTX, Ultratechs. This one's a limited edition and MagnaCut. These double-edged knives do not do great in a field environment, right? They're actually can be quite dangerous in a field environment because if your finger slips, right, comes off of that jimping right there, next thing you know, it's sliced and you might be screwed depending on what kind of med kit or IFAK you have on you. But these things, due to their profile, they are not the strongest to be used out in a field environment, and should probably be reserved for more of an everyday carry or a defensive style knife. Kind of the same thing with this this double-edged gravity knife, right? While this thing is funner than hell to fidget with, and is pretty fun, right? It's a great fidget toy, great conversation starter. Everybody loves to see a gravity knife. Definitely not the greatest knife to carry out into a hard use and abuse field environment. So definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comment section. Again, this Ultratech is on the table to be able to go, as well as the our Combat Troodon up here, our LUDT, SOCOM Elite manual, and let me know if you guys want me to throw in the full immunity in M4 and see how this sucker lasts out there. So this would make a nice little backup knife to have, and be a compliment to see, you know, really between the Exceeds Design Tyrant and the full immunity, which one's the more convenient knife to carry. So definitely let me know. But for the time being, these three right here are definitely going, as well as our fixed blade selection and potentially the immunity. And then definitely give me a pick of what you guys want to see going out, either one of the Microtechs or you know, the old Griptilian, or possibly taking back out the zero tolerance Hinderer Slicer. So definitely curious. Any of the knives that you've seen on the table, please feel free to comment and let us know. Due to my timeline, unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to grab any new knives if you recommend them in time to come out to the field. But any of the knives in our previous videos, if you'd like to see them go out there and get hard use and abused, or you have a challenge that you'd like to see thrown down, feel free to drop a comment with it. Be more than happy to try and accommodate what we can. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, have a nice day.